The McDonald's fire, a few days ago, car went on fire and burnt down the Newbridge McDonald's restaurant in County Kildare, leaving a lot of people starving. We contacted, a friend of mine contacted the newspaper, the Kildare Nationalist, I think it is, and they said that they didn't know what type of car it was. They were awaiting the report from the fire service, which I say may never come. However, they had an initial report that it was a diesel car. They were just guessing when that took place. Now, it may have been a diesel hybrid. Now, there's two classes. I've been watching out for Mercedes because I don't drive one, but I've been watching out for them today. And I met a few on the roads when I couldn't look at them, I couldn't check them out. But I got looking at a few that were stationary. And there's the E class 220 and E class 230 in E class 300. E220 and E300. Now, the thing about the E is that it does not mean it's an electrical vehicle. It does not mean it's an electrical vehicle. E in the model number of a Mercedes does not mean it's an electrical vehicle. Okay, so that's it. It can be a diesel vehicle and have an E on it. Now, if there's Q, that is a hybrid or an electrical. If it's Q in it. So there again, that's just another little bit of information on that. And the other thing is now the 300 model has an elongated or lengthy back lamp, which is about 4.5 inches high and a good lot longer, whereas the 220 has a more loaf, like a batch loaf shape. It's a more nearly square, a kind of a nearly square rectangular shape of lamp. And in the car in Kildare, definitely that's the size of the lamp, or unless they're interchangeable, which I don't think they are, they can't be. It's an E220 Mercedes car. Now, is it a Q type? There's a DE on some of them, didn't go into that, and some Mercedes that I've checked have no insignia at all. There's no way of knowing what they are. Right, the back boot is this shape, it's a U shape on Mercedes, and that's in the case of this one. Somebody posted underneath my video to say it was a Mercedes, and I think they are right. I want to thank the taxi man there who said he'd keep checking it out and listening down there. We'd love to know what the story is. We're not trying to yahoo or cheer about anyone's misfortune. We want to know if it is an electric car, and if the danger that I am saying, which hails from having electric cars, is real, then it could be fatal at some stage, and if on a ferry, it could be very, very bad altogether. So there's 4 types of those two models, the 220 and the 300. There's the petrol, there's the diesel, there's the petrol hybrid, and there's the diesel hybrid. And Mercedes brag a bit that they are one of the few that has a diesel hybrid. Why they all go for petrol, like Toyota going for petrol in the RAV, I don't know. It's nuts, because they'll pass everything except a petrol station. Now, the thing about it is, I was in communication with an engineer and a few people, and I have examined the flames, and may post here under, the flames from EV fires, and they're a black, red, with a bit of orange in them, with a thick black smoke emitting from them. And don't forget, the battery of an EV is a container, it's a vessel. And when they go to burn, they shoot the flames out, a bit like a rocket. The flames do not harmlessly go up. I might do some tests on that. Now, this one had the flames shooting out under the passenger seat. Now, Monty Keb or something there said it could be the CDU. Well, unless there's lithium ion in the CDU, that's the computer control unit, then it couldn't be that. If the CDU is just solid state materials, shouldn't do that. There's no reason why it'll emit that volume of flame and smoke. And don't forget, a lithium ion fire can only be put out when the fuel is run out, when the fuel is gone. Putting water on it only saves adjacent stuff, that's all. So, in any event, so the flame type indicates, and I said it had the hallmark of an EV, electric vehicle battery, and I stand by that until we can prove it's different, but we're not entirely sure. And of course, we know there's going to be a shutdown on information. I drew a picture of the way it goes in an electric car. In an electric car, it comes out of the bottom and it blows out round the sides at your feet. In an electric bus, the battery's overhead and it blows out on the side. Either of them would scare me a little. Now, of course, someone posted there about a Safira. As I understand, that's just an ordinary petrol or diesel car. that went on fire in Cork. Certainly cars can go on fire, but the thing is they're not such a threat. There is a move on by ferries to make people disconnect the batteries of all cars, all internal combustion engine cars. The problem is when you do that, you knock out the electrics. You stop the radio working, you have to get it recoded, and it's a mess. So that's a big problem not yet solved in any car. So yes, the loom normally in a battery car, there's a short circuit where some of the wires is missing, is stripped from its insulation, and it touches the body or touches another wire of the opposite polarity, and it begins to smoke and smolder. They rarely go that quick. Now, one thing about all car fires, once it catches the tires, you get a very intense popping sound, very hot flame. Once it gets the tires, it's trouble. It's hard to put it out, but it's not self-oxidizing, and the water of the fire service will put it out. So now I just want to bring you up to date on that, and thank everyone for your help. There is a view among the Greens that the likes of me should shut up. Don't worry about it. You worry about something else. I refuse to do that. What I will say, if it's not an electric car, then there's a big problem with that model of car. If an ICI car, an internal combustion engine car, can burn like that, and with that intensity, coming out straight like a jet, then there must be some lithium ion somewhere in some other component. So there's a problem either way. And don't forget the Felicity Ace, which went down, was loaded full of these type of Mercedes cars. Not all, but a good lot of them. And the Fremantle Highway likewise. There's no information coming out about the Fremantle Highway. All is suppressed, all is held. I reckon that if this goes to be a big problem, and that the insurance costs for electric cars become unsustainable, and government will load the cost onto all cars. They'll make the likes of me with a diesel van pay for the electricity car. This is illegal by right. They shouldn't be able to do that, but this is what they'll do. This is a religion. They are not going to go back down on it. You might as well be trying to change the early crusaders or the early Christians and get them to give up their religion. It's just a matter of persuading those at the fringes that this is a whole heap of nonsense, and that they're not clean by any standard, and all of that. And I do see some advertisements for electric cars saying 0 emissions at car, which is very straight and very true. That's good, because the emissions are at the power station, of course. You know that. Okay, we still have to find out. It may be it's not an electric car, but I had a lengthy conversation with an engineer who had a fire in a Renault car one time, and he says, no way, it was the flames I saw and the flames that were published in the paper, and I got a look at it before the media got to it, and there was the red thick smoke coming out like that and whizzing out of underneath the passenger seat. Now, is there a computer unit right under the seat? If there is, that's scary of itself. So we have more work to do. Hopefully over time we'll either prove our case, yes or no, or we'll prove that there's a cover-up, which is more likely. See you back for something else, and please comment and keep the chat going, because it's important. Bye. See you. Right.